Welcome to this online session from Teaching Power Quality subject for final year 7th semester students in electrical engineering. I am Professor Tanuja Date from Electrical Engineering Department, KK Wagh Institute of Engineering Education and Research, Nasik. Today we will be learning some basics of power quality. In Pune University, the course structure for elective 1, which is power quality, is suggested with 3 lectures per week as a teaching scheme and 2 practical sessions per week. Now this time we are taking online learning, so we will be looking at the course objectives for the entire course, where the students will be able to possess the ability to identify various power quality issues. They will be able to understand relevant IEEE standards. They will have awareness about various power quality monitoring techniques and instruments. They will have ability to characterize various power quality problems, and they will have ability to decide and deploy mitigation techniques. The objectives of this lecture are to identify symptoms of poor power quality, recognize the significance and importance of power quality, classify and define power quality problems, and indicate the various stakeholders which are involved. To begin with, we must understand why this subject is so important and how it was first realized that such kind of study is related, which is required. Initially, since computer industry was the leading or pioneer industry in IT sector, they had some problems like blinking of monitors of PC, no operation of keyboards, the system rebooting or restarting, and loss of data, which was first identified with computers. It was also noticed that there is flicker in lamps. Sometimes the digital clocks are having maloperation. There could be tripping of contactors and relays, and poor performance or maloperations of drives was observed. Now when such problems, in spite of all the specifications requirement getting fulfilled, were observed, people started working and thinking about what must be going wrong, why we are having such problems to operate these equipments in spite of completing all the specification requirements as per the manufacturer's specifications. When the study continued, they realized that there are various power quality issues which are seen, that the voltage and current which is taken by the equipment is possessing some problems, like which we can have look at this chart, which right now we have identified as power quality issues. Like there could be flicker in lamp, there could be unbalance in the input supply voltage. The voltage can have voltage sags, where reduction of voltage is seen for some cycles. There could be swells, where increase of voltage than the specification value. There could be transients, where sudden increase of voltage to very high magnitude for very short duration is seen. There may be interruptions, where loss of voltage and frequency deviations. Along with this, there is one big issue which we are now terming as harmonics, where multiple frequency input currents are drawn and which are resulting into multiple frequency in voltages also seen in the system. There could be a long duration problem like under voltage and over voltage, which is identified. Lesser voltage is under voltage, and increase of voltage than specification or prescribed value 1 pu is called as over voltage. So same thing is listed here, and we can have a look at various terminologies which we are now calling as power quality issues. But basically, when we start defining power quality, how do we define power quality? When we look at this word, it has 2 words which are combined together, which is power and quality. Now defining quality is not so easy. We need to first define many parameters and attributes for defining quality, which we usually do in practice. It is having good quality. Anything having good quality needs to be described as the parameters, having good color or good, if it is about a dress or shirt which we are wearing, it could be described as rightly having good fitting, good pricing, or it is looking good. So these are the attributes which we have to associate when we talk of quality. Similarly, when we say power, we know that power is a product of voltage and current, and so when we start talking of power quality, we need to talk power quality in terms of voltage quality and current quality. So now there is a question whether good voltage quality can be taken as good power quality or good current quality should be taken as good power quality. To go in details of this, there is sure contribution of voltage as well as current while defining the power. If we see the definition of power quality, the problems which we are saying as power quality problems is defined as any problem manifested in voltage, current or frequency deviations that result in failure or mal-operation of customer equipment. So it is not only about the deviation, but the deviation in voltage, current and frequency which causes problem in operation of the equipment. If it is not having any problem, we would not be calling it as a problem, power quality problem. And so this definition we have to always refer to while understanding the power quality problem. This is parallelly understood by taking a case of, say, our atmospheric pollution. Like if we have some pollution, some people get affected by that. They may have cold or they may have some other diseases which are spread through atmospheric pollution. But if another person is not getting affected, it's not a problem for that person. So it varies from person to person whether that thing should be called as a problem. Same is true with power quality problem. It depends mainly on the robustness of the equipment as well as sensitivity of the system and equipment, whether they will be sensitive to these variations which are seen in voltage, current and frequency, and if they are resulting into their failure or mal-operation, that becomes a problem for that particular equipment. Now generally it is observed that if we see all the power quality problems which we have shown roughly, we have not understood the definitions yet, but I am just using some terminologies like voltage swells, spikes, interruptions, voltage sags which are seen. It is observed that majority of the problems are caused by voltage sags. So this is a rough pie diagram which approximately says that out of all the problems, 60% of the problems are caused by voltage sags. Another 29% is by voltage swells. And so if we start looking at most of the problems, though we are defining that power quality could be because of voltage quality or current quality, but it is mainly taken as the quality of voltage because majority of the problems are caused because of the voltage. Because the voltage is given by the supply system as per their guarantees in the specified magnitude range and the frequency ranges, and so voltage can be taken as any variation in this voltage is surely causing the problem for the equipment operations. It draws different currents from the same supply system, and so how much current the equipment will be drawing and what would be the nature of that current is solely dependent on nature of equipment which it is operating. And so it is termed that most of the problems are mainly caused by voltage quality. And so if you see the previous slide, you will see that power quality is equivalent to voltage quality, which is a rough definition of power quality, though it is surely a product of voltage and current both. There are various reasons for sudden increased concern of this power quality because this is a recent topic, or in recent years the study of power quality has been done. Now the reasons, we can see that the equipments which are becoming more and more sensitive with use of power electronics and electronic equipments, the sensitivity of equipment has gone up. Since it is more sensitive, it shows variation in its performance if any of the supply conditions deviate. And so equipment sensitivity is one of the major concern. Then use of non-linear loads with increasing emphasis on overall power system efficiency, use of high efficiency adjustable speed motor drives and shunt capacitors. We have realized that more and more industrial electrical drives are used in industry with the increased use of power electronics or switching circuits. More and more non-linearity in the loads has been increased, because the normal linear loads, if they are switched, they become non-linear and they start drawing currents which are non-sinusoidal. And so increase of such loads with use of drives, shunt capacitor switching for power factor correction, and improvement in many of the device operations for improved efficiency, the system is becoming more and more non-linear. This is one of the major cause because of which power quality problems are increasing. This is also should not be denied that there is increased awareness of power quality issues, because earlier people were not aware that these problems are coming across because of such variations in the input supply conditions. So this increased awareness also is addressing many of the variations as power quality problem. Interconnected network with integrated processes and industry automation. This is one also very important reason why power quality has become very important for study. Because of interconnected networks, some variation at one node gets transferred to the loads which are connected at the other end, and they also get affected. So because of interconnected network, voltage sags or any power failure which occurs, faults which are created on the power system, they create voltage sag or interruption kind of thing. If a lightning stroke occurs at one location, it surely has impact on the loads with higher voltages impressed at the loads connected at the other end. This is the reason, because of interconnection, the problems or such voltage variations are also affecting the loads which are connected at the extreme other ends of the network. The industry automation, where use of PLC SCADA and interconnected automated systems have become very sensitive, and any interruption or variation in the input supply conditions can stop any of the equipment or drive operation, which is stopping all the process which is interlinked. Now this causes huge loss for the industry, because the entire process sometimes is halted, or the product which is manufactured can have some defects. Now this is resulting into financial loss for the industry, and so this power quality has become a major concern for automation industries. Now who all are affected and who are involved in this power quality study? Can we just say that it is a responsibility of only utility, since we said that it is concerned with the voltage quality? Is the only utility responsible for power quality? The answer is no. The utility can say that we are giving good quality voltage supply to, as well as the frequency is maintained constant as per the specifications, but still the power quality is poor because the load which is drawing current from our utility supply system is drawing nonlinear currents, or they are non-sinusoidal currents, which are affecting the voltage quality which is available for rest of the loads which are connected in the network. Because we know, as per the Kirchhoff's law, input supply voltage, even if it is sinusoidal, it has voltage drops which are taking place because of current in the network as I into impedance. The I is non-linear or non-sinusoidal, and so I into Z results into a voltage drop which is non-linear in nature, non-sinusoidal in nature, and so resultant voltage also becomes non-sinusoidal. Now this voltage gets connected to the loads which are connected elsewhere in the network, and so for those loads the voltage quality is not good, because though utility is supplying pure sinusoidal voltage, it is not available for the loads which are connected at the other end of the network. So it becomes a voltage quality problem for them. The equipment manufacturer, here the voltage quality which is at the customer end. Here the third stakeholder should have been the customer who is using this voltage at the customer end. The equipment manufacturer is also concerned because they are manufacturing the equipment as per some specifications and some tolerance limits. Now this tolerance limit, in spite of all this, if the equipment is failing in the customer facility, it becomes a blame game that the customer is not satisfied and they keep saying that there is a problem of equipment. Now the equipment manufacturer says that our equipment will be giving the promised performance only when its input conditions are as per the permissible tolerance limits. So then the blame goes to utility. The utility says that no, we are not to blame because we are giving sinusoidal voltage supply. It is because of some in between non-linearity in the system or loads where the voltage reaching the customer end is becoming non-linear in nature, non-sinusoidal in nature. So it is all interlinked. So they are all stakeholders: utility, equipment manufacturer, as well as the customer. Three of them, utility, equipment manufacturer and the customer, they are all stakeholders of power quality. So they must work hand in hand to maintain the power quality so that the current drawn by the customer is not having harmonics or non-sinusoidal nature. The equipment will perform properly only when it is getting the promised input supply conditions, and so its sensitivity also will be maintained and its performance will not be challenged. The utility is worried about the non-linearity injected, non-sinusoidal currents which are injected in the form of harmonics in the supply system, which also disturb the voltage quality in the entire network. And so unless all three of them, utility, equipment manufacturer and the customer, they work hand in hand together to maintain the voltage quality, current quality and in all power quality. So these three are taken as stakeholders of power quality. Now this is a chart which we can have a glance at. This is taken from IEEE standard 1159, where the various terms are written and they are categorized as per, on x-axis there is a time scale and y-axis there is a magnitude of voltage. We can see that nominal operating voltage is in the band of 90% to 110% of, so this is a tolerance band for the operating voltage to call it a normal voltage. If the voltage falls below 90% up to 10%, we call it voltage sag, but its time variation could be from 0.5 cycle to 1 minute, then we call it voltage sag. If it is beyond 1 minute, we call it under voltage. Similarly, if the voltage is higher than 110 volts, 110 pu or 10%, it is called as voltage swell in the same range of time, 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. If it is more than 1 minute in increased voltage range, more than 110%, we call it over voltage. So under voltage, over voltage are called as long duration voltage variations, whereas anything beyond less than 1 minute duration is called as short duration voltage variation. The details of this can be studied later. This is just for a glance of what all different types of power quality problems related to voltage could be. The power quality affects equipment, and so failure, tripping or malfunctioning affecting operational performance of equipment is one major concern about the equipment. Reduction in efficiency and increase in losses is another concern for the equipment, and in short, the life expectancy of the equipment is challenged because of increased heating and damage to the insulation. So equipment is largely affected because of poor power quality. These are some steps to improve power quality. This is just in a nutshell that power quality, once we realize that there are some problems, it can also be improved by taking certain precautions. So these are few steps which I have jotted down to give a summary of what do we do with such power quality problems. If we first come across some symptoms of poor power quality, which we have already studied, then we identify the problem, that what could be the problem because of which such symptoms are seen. This is exactly like medical diagnosis. First we feel that there is some headache or fever. Then we try to analyze, go to the doctor and try to identify what could be the reason of this headache or fever. Then we go for some testing like monitoring of power quality parameters. But usually we know pathological tests are suggested by doctors as per the identification of the problem. So if the doctor feels that certain tests are required to be done, then we go for pathological tests only for those tests. It's not generally that all the tests are done. Same is done with the identification of problem for power quality. The monitoring of power quality parameters by defining their ranges and which parameters to be monitored is given by the experts. Then once the monitoring is done, the data is available, its analysis is done. Then the classification of problem, looking at the analysis that what could be the reason because of which such problems are arising, and then diagnosis of the problem. So here this is a guesswork of the problem. As per the monitoring, now we have data and we can actually diagnose the problem. Once the problem is identified and diagnosed, then we can suggest some mitigation measures where some of the settings of the equipment can be changed or some of the precautionary measures can be taken so that such problems will not be affecting the equipment operation or the problem which was observed in the symptoms. For doing all this, there are standards which are suggested by IEEE, where all the standard procedures, definitions of various parameters, terminologies, how to monitor, measurements, everything is done and given in these standards. In the standards which are typically used as IEEE 519 and IEEE 1159, which are most useful for our study. These are some reference material which is suggested in the course. So these are the textbooks and some reference books which are suggested in the syllabus itself, and so same I have included here. These will be the guideline textbooks and reference books can be referred for entire course which we are going to follow in this first elective in 7th semester. I hope I have been able to give you some small guideline about how to look at the power quality issues and what all things we will be studying during this semester. Thank you.